Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd. And in today's first video, we have a massive Avengers Secret Wars possible plot leak to go over in today's video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Happy 4th of July to all who celebrate out there. America is the best country to live in. That is for sure. I do know that for a fact. And, of course, we are talking about one of the greatest movies in history that is coming with Avengers Secret Wars. So, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below if you are into Marvel, Star Wars, DC, pop culture, you name it. Hit the sub button. We talk about it here pretty much every single day on the channel. Like I was saying in the introduction, we have a alleged Avengers Secret Wars plot leak to go over. It's kind of the first rendition of it. I'm not expecting anything too crazy out of the ordinary from this plot leak, but we are going to go over, break it down where we can, talk about it a little bit, and without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into it. So, this alleged plot leak is coming from the Beyond Reporter and coming from My Time to Shine Hello over on X. I've seen both of them post this exact same plot leak, and without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into it. It says, a year has passed since Battleworld was formed by Doom. Most of its residents have no idea about the old world, with only a few exceptions. Everyone on Battleworld, whose nature is medieval and feudal, believes it has always existed. Their past lives have been rewritten into roles: barons, rulers, citizens of domains, etc. However, all three Spider-Men remember the old world, as do Namor, the Young Avengers, Vision, She-Hulk, Deadpool, Sadie Sink's Jean Grey, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Reed Richards, and Sentry. They form a resistance after realizing that Doom is not just a ruler. He is the engine of reality itself. Battleworld exists because Doom is actively maintaining it using Loki's stolen powers. They break into Battleworld domains. They split up and travel through different domains, each acting as a broken patch of old universes. Search for weakness in Doom's structure. Recruit allies who are beginning to glitch, regaining their memories, or questioning reality. Doom commands an army of Thors, which Doctor Strange as his second in command. He also has his coven of witches and, of course, Loki's stolen power. Yelena serves as his third in command, though she has no powers. Sentry is taken and is held captive under lock and key. Another key figure Doom keeps is Steve Rogers, the only person whose memory he deliberately preserved. Doom hates Steve and wants him to witness his victory, to see that Doom has won and built a new family, while Steve has lost everything. Instead of directly attacking Doom, the Resistance focuses on turning his forces against him. She-Hulk gathers the Hulks. Deadpool manages to restore Thor's memories, and the Young Avengers unite the mutant population. Tom Holland's Spider-Man rallies New York. Reed Richards gathers the remaining members of the Future Foundation. Meanwhile, Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, and Steve Rogers, who escaped Doom's prison with Yelena's help, set out on a mission to find Loki. Since Doom restored everyone, Loki is alive as well, and he is the only one capable of stealing Doom's powers. Loki is found in an Asgardian domain that has become a casino, a shady, corrupt version of Asgard. There, they encounter Sylvie, Mobius, OB, and other TVA members working in the casino. Loki is the manager, but he refuses to believe their story and throws them out. At their lowest point, they discover someone unexpected: Tony Stark. He is miserable, drunk, gambling away his life in the casino, and initially refuses to join them. Eventually, they convince him, and they convince Loki as well. At the final battle, armies from across Battleworld gather to storm Doom's castle. Thor and the Hulks fight against the army of Thors, while Sam leads the resistance against the witches, Doombots, and the rest of Doom's forces. Reed Richards, Yelena, Sue, who now remembers everything, Steve Rogers, Hulk and She-Hulk, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Sentry, Loki, and Iron Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man all confront Doom directly. Doom overwhelms them, defeating them brutally, and they are nearly killed. Reed and Sue try to reason with him, telling him that he is grieving for his family and that Battleworld is not the answer. He is briefly convinced, but ultimately rejects it and attacks them again. They are saved at the last moment by Toby, Hugh, and Tony, who managed to hold Doom off long enough for Loki to reclaim the stolen power and restore the multiverse. Everything returns to normal. Loki returns to his throne, but not before saying a final goodbye to Thor and his TVA friends. Everyone is sent back to their original universes. Yes, Deadpool, Wolverine, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four return to their own realities and do not join the MCU. What this means for the future is unclear. The MCU continues as it was before. That was part 1 of 1. Now this is part 2 of 2, which is the end. The TVA later gets Steve, Peggy, and their son, who is alive again, in a new universe, one where they existed but died, preventing any incursions from occurring again. Before leaving, Steve asked the TVA for one last favor. Years later, an older Steve Rogers is visited by the TVA, bringing him to Earth 616 at the end of Endgame so he can pass the shield on to Sam. After saying a final goodbye to Sam and Bucky, he returns with the TVA to the reality where Peggy and his son live. The end. So, that right there in a nutshell, absolutely insane stuff, right? Of course, there's a lot that we are going to textualize and analyze it where we can, but from what this sounds like, for the most part, it sounds like a lot of fan-made work, right? We don't even know the full plot for Avengers Doomsday yet, and again, we probably won't until the movie comes out, but if what John Campion reported yesterday that we talked about is in fact true about Avengers Doomsday, then of course this does make a lot of sense, right? Battleworld being formed by Doctor Doom, most of its residents having no idea about the old world. Of course, we got the Young Avengers, She-Hulk, Vision, Deadpool, Sadie Stakes, Jean Grey. Also, I will shout out Michael Ronan over at Everything Always. He has confirmed and said that that She-Hulk is going to be in Avengers Secret Wars and not going to be in Avengers Doomsday. So shout out him over on his YouTube channel, Everything Always. However, with that being said, again, there's still a lot of stuff happening in this movie. It's going to be a long movie. It's going to be complicated. But if this is the overall plot, I am here for it. And ultimately, seeing a few of these things just gave me the chills, right? Doom commanding an army of Thors with Doctor Strange as his second in command. I thought that is very, very cool. Loki having his powers stolen, but of course, whenever he gets his powers back, he's going to go back to the TVA. I can already see that scene in my mind to where he is talking with Thor and going to leave, right? So a lot of this stuff does sound like fan-made work, but again, if this is going to be at least a part of Avengers Secret Wars, I am here for it. It shows how powerful Doctor Doom is to where the kind of remaining Avengers, quote unquote, don't necessarily have what it takes to beat him, and they do have to kind of awaken everybody from their memories. There's that aspect to it. Then there's Loki's powers. The Iron Man cameo, I think, is just going to play a big factor. If that even is true, I think we get an Iron Man cameo in Avengers Secret Wars and not Avengers Doomsday, just because I think that would be the best spot for it, and they could say, hey, this is a variant of Tony Stark, but he looks like Robert Downey Jr., and then he can go up against Doctor Doom and see Doctor Doom's face as well. So, again, a lot of stuff in this plot leak that I do like. I like all of it for the most part. I think it's very entailing. However, the two parts that I struggle with is A, the Fantastic Four going back to their universe at the end of Avengers Secret Wars. Why not just stick around in the MCU where we have the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the of course Young Avengers now in the MCU? Why not just stick around and then they can kind of team up with that? I don't know if Marvel's going to plan that. I don't know if they're going to try and change it up, and of course we're not going to know until December of next year, not even this year when Avengers Doomsday comes out. We're not going to know until next year at Avengers Secret Wars. But again, I just find that very interesting. And then the whole Steve thing where he is going back with Peggy Carter as well in that universe. I'm very curious to see what universe that is. I'm also very curious to see old man Steve Rogers again, if that even is true, if that does happen in the movie. Cannot wait for Avengers Secret Wars, but this is the alleged plot leak. You guys let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. A lot of really good stuff in here. Doctor Doom being shown as the most powerful, creating Battleworld, all of that good stuff. Cannot wait to see Avengers Doomsday at theaters. We know the Avengers are probably going to lose at Avengers Doomsday. day. That's just how it is. And then, of course, we go into Avengers Secret Wars, where they do kind of team up with the X-Men and with the, of course, Fantastic Four, to where we kind of do get to see them take down Doctor Doom. So ultimately, I am very, very excited for this film. Cannot wait for Avengers Secret Wars. If this is even remotely true, this would give me absolute stokes. I was reading this, got absolute chills from it, and cannot wait for Avengers Secret Wars. But you guys, let me know, like I said, your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Later today, we will have a DC video, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.